It is race week, and I have some tips that will help ensure you're going to pull off a great race in probably PR. The hardest thing I have to get athletes to do is listen to me on this week, and here's why, okay? Here's what I want you to realize and what I want you to really think about, and I try to communicate this to my athletes or on the podcast or the lives that I do. I've gone 916 at Kona. I've had really good races at Ironman before. I have never had a good race trying to push for a time. I've never had that happen. So if you think about back a few weeks ago, I said how I always like to do the hardest, whether it's my power or speed, I like to keep that up. My recommendation is to remember the time that you're shooting for right now. And that big mistake a lot of athletes make is they train to ride a certain power, and so they ride that power even if they're over goal speed. Look, if you're over your goal speed, you've been training to ride that power for a result you were hoping for. If the race is giving you portions of that course as a gift, so the wind's at your back or you have a downhill, don't hit a gift horse in the mouth. Take the gift. If you're over your goal speed, back off. Ride your bike as easy as you can. Let your core temperature come down. Drink some more water. Pour some water on you. Get some calories in. Shake your legs out. Try to make the course as short as you possibly can. I really encourage all my athletes to think about getting to mile 80 on the bike with the freshest legs possible, because truly that's when the race starts. The swim is almost irrelevant, and so is the first 80 miles on the bike. That's where everybody who thinks they're going to have a great race comes out and plays. You don't even know if you're going to have a good race until mile 80 of the bike. So if you can imagine the start line being at mile 80, do whatever you need to do in order to get to mile 80 feeling good. I don't care what your heart rate says. I don't care what your power says. I don't care what your pace says. If you're feeling like whatever you're doing at that moment is getting you to mile 80 and you're going to even question if you're ready to go fast, then stop, back off. I promise you, you won't be upset. You will not run the marathon with too much energy. I promise you that. For every 10 minutes you try to go extra fast on the bike, you can budget for about 30 minutes slower on the run. It's not worth it. The math is not going to add up in your equation, in your favor. The other thing that I try to tell people to do on the run is get to the last 10K and try to stick with your run plan. I say try to run, but if you have a walk, run plan, you know what I'm talking about. If you can manage and do what you want to do on the last 10K of that race, you will not have a bad race. I have never had anyone manage the last 10K of the race like they wanted to going in and complained about having a bad race. Never has that ever happened. So even overriding getting to mile 80, you want to make sure that you are doing everything you can possibly think of for that day to get to the last 10K and be able to execute your race plan. So ask yourself all the time, every few minutes, how do I feel? Is my stomach clearing? If it's not clearing, back off, let it catch up, slow your intensity down. If your stomach is not clearing, it's because your blood is working too hard to try to cool your body off or give your muscles oxygen because they're working too hard. So that means that it's not going to your stomach to absorb food. The only way that you can get your stomach to start digesting is to back off and or cool yourself off. If you ignore that for too long, your day is pretty much over. You're not going to get your stomach to open back up for several hours. So I always ask myself every 10 or 15 minutes, do I still feel relatively empty? You err on the side of less. You can always add more calories if you feel like you're about to start bonking. It takes a little bit, like 20 minutes for some sugar to hit your system. So remember, stick to your 300 calories an hour or 500 or so milligrams of sodium. If you've been in our nutrition components, this is old hat news to you. Remember that. But if it's super hot or super hard, maybe reduce the calories just a little bit, even though you will need more because you are going through more calories because it is hot or because the effort is high. But realize your body's going to have a harder time getting to it. So the biggest source of issues for bad digestion is intensity. Back off. Be patient. Be smart. You only have so much energy. It's a closed circuit equation. If you use too much energy in the beginning of the race, you're going to have less energy at the end of the race. You want to save your energy for when everyone else is slowing down because it's worth more then. It's like spending dollars in a down market, right? You're going out trying to buy a bunch of real estate when everyone else is trying to buy real estate, like at the beginning of the race. You're going to overpay for that same house that if you just hold back your money and wait till everyone else is crashing, you're going to get so much more investment out of your dollars. So I hope everyone has a great race. You are ready for this race. A positive mindset is critical, and you should have no anxiety in the race because you should just be doing what you've trained to do. You should be nervous if you plan on going into the race and trying to race a friend or try to see what you can do and you haven't practiced it. You've simulated this so many times. If you just color in the lines and do what you've practiced, you should have a great day. I'll see everybody in the next plan and in the membership areas or maybe at the races. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.